人生は毎日が宝探し。どうもヒロです。今日はですね、キャプトヒロのメンバーのロイがですね遊びに来てくれました。今日はロイはマレーシア人ですね。
そう、マレーシア出身。
はい、ということで、今日はですね、英語でやりたいと思います。ここからですね、英語でいきます。So Roy, welcome.
Hello, Professor, and hello to all our dear listeners. I'm so happy today to be here on the CAPTxHIRO episode of our podcast. Incredible. I can't wait for it to build up to more, and I have so many questions to ask you today.
Okay, go on.
So, a lot of university students, including me, we have a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. We're really not sure what life looks like after graduation. You know, we spend our whole lives in kindergarten, middle school, high school, and then university. And then finally, we're going to graduate and enter the world as, shakaijin, as adults. And it's so very different because it's not about studying and it's not about grades anymore. How was your experience? I heard you studied in Australia for university.
Oh yeah, but when I graduated from the Japanese university, I moved to Russia first.
Russia?
Yeah, and then I was teaching Japanese and the university student there. And then I came back, and then I was working as a shakaijin, as you say. So I was doing sales, so I was selling a mobile phone. Now we call it the smartphone, but that time didn't call it the smartphone. And then a couple of years after I worked in that company, I moved to Australia, and then I did my master's and a PhD.
Right.
So I have industry experience, along with other hospitality organizations. But also I studied in Australia too. So if I said that what kind of life expecting or the waiting for you after graduating is maybe first the shakaijin, right? So you're gonna enter the company and then work as an employee.
Yeah.
Right? Have you got a job yet?
Unfortunately, not yet. I'm waiting for a job offer right now, and I have no idea what to expect.
Okay. So the first, if you get a job in Japan, of course you need to learn, the Japanese work ethics,
Right.
which is not really changing, but it's gradually changing now. And then most corporate culture is that you need to come around 9 o'clock and then leave at 6 o'clock and sometimes longer than that. So the first, maybe in a couple of years, you need to get used to it, how to work in a company.
Right.
And then to some extent, you need to sacrifice your time too. But when you start something new, it's always like that, right?
Yeah, that's
Takes some time.
exactly. That's one of the biggest worries I think a lot of university students, including me, have. From what we see in the movies and what we hear from adults all around us, everybody hates their job. They're spending all their time in their job, working for bosses and coworkers maybe they don't like. And there's office politics where people in their office are gossiping when they should be working. And we have all of this idea that's not very accurate because we don't experience working life before. So maybe we assume these weird things. Can you clarify? Is some of them true? Is some of them false?
Obviously, really depends on the company.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. And then there is a lot of the venture companies recently, right? So maybe it's that different from the big company too. So, but what I've said is, maybe you're gonna get some the conflict with employees or other employees or maybe employers, and also maybe you get some disappointment, which is common because you go to the company and then you expect something, you bring some expectations, right? And then you have you face some gap between what you expected and then what you actually get it, right? But then what I don't want you and then other members to feel is that that's the end of the world. Okay, of course, you need to anticipate that kind of gap or maybe conflict would happen, but you need to think about what you want to do in the future. Maybe
Right.
that's gonna be the first company. It's not gonna be the final company, right? But if you understand that what you need to learn from the first company and then going to the next, or maybe next. Maybe you can consider what you need, you can think of what you need to do in the first place.
Right. Yeah, as you said, Professor Hiro, it might not be the end of the world. It could just be the start of it, start of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stepping stone.
Yeah, stepping stone. And you're talking, you explained just now about how it's different environments with different companies. So did you jump to between a lot of companies in your life?
my first job is at the university, right? I was
Right.
teaching, and then came back to Japan, and then another company, that industry, and then also I was working in a restaurant. So yes, it's jumping, but then what I focused on was then I really wanted to go to like foreign country to study and to get my degree, like a master's and PhD. So I always, was thinking about it. Therefore, I knew it that the first company, second company is not then a place I'm going to spend the rest of my life.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So what I said repeatedly is that then think what you want to do at the end, right? Maybe in the future, and then think about what you can get from where you work in
Right.
the first place.
Yeah, making a plan definitely helps a lot. Well, I think I'll go do that then. Make a plan about my life, and maybe then it won't be so much more scary. And to all our listeners, maybe start making a plan as well and take Professor Hiro up on his advice. Thank you so much for your time today and answering my question, addressing our fears and concerns. For all our dear listeners, please tune in to CAPTxHIRO podcast for more anxiety solvers and stress solvers. Thank you very much, everyone.
ということで、今日はですね、英語で、ポッドキャスト、ラジオをお送りしました。これからもですね、こういった英語だったりとか、あとはね、日本語でも、お届けしたいと思います。ということで、今日のポッドキャストはいかがだったでしょうか。またですね、次の、ラジオでお会いしましょう。せーの、ホンデバズー。